Jesse here with James Gang Fishing Company, here to do a recap video on our trip to Knoxville, Tennessee. We brought our fishing lures to the East Tennessee Fishing Expo in Knoxville, and we're going to do a little video, documented our whole trip, kind of covered some of the sightseeing we did and the restaurants we stopped at. Our YouTube channel right now has had about 9,800 views. It's been going up quite a bit lately. Hope we'll get some pretty good content out this year. We've kind of taken about a 5-year break. We haven't been to any shows in 5 years due to some health issues of mine. And obviously COVID shutting down expos about 4 years ago. And I'm seeing some improvement with my health, so we're hoping that even though it's kind of a roller coaster up and down, it's a slow progress. We should be able to put out some more content this year. I'm jumping into more tournaments, hoping to do about 5 tournaments this year. We're going to do the James Gang one in the spring and the fall, and doing 2 CWBAs locally in northwestern Wisconsin. Also super excited to hopefully be competing in the Bassmaster Open on Leech Lake as a co-angler. Due to the setbacks I've had, I haven't been able to get the guide service going a few years back like I had planned. So I don't have the guide boat currently. We just have an old 76 Lund that we use. And if you're interested in going on a trip with me this summer, look up Pick Time, Uncle Jesse River Reservoir Adventures. You'll see me on there. Also, Lake Hop is another option that you can find me at. So the start of the trip, we had our first cold snap of the year. We've had a really warm winter for Wisconsin, but had a cold snap here. We had our first snowfall, really, of anything. It was 5 inches here in our hometown and not very far away. Only got 1 or 2. Kind of all we've seen all year. It's middle of January. We hadn't even, third week of January, we hadn't even fired up snowblower yet, which can't remember a time like that ever really. And got down to Madison, Wisconsin our first night, and the snowbanks were over the top of the Jeep in the parking lot at Dave & Buster's at the hotel. Went inside of Dave & Buster's, and Alex tried out their full rack of ribs. I went with a grilled chicken salad. Food was excellent. And they had a nice swimming pool there. I think it was a Baymont Inn by Windham in Middleton. And we had to stop at the Bass Pro Shops and Fleet Farm and pick up a few Straight King trailers real quick. We ended up putting some Rage swimmers on the trailers of our Nest Invader jigs. Normally we'd use the booty kicker. We had some issues getting some colors in stock from our supplier that pours them for us professionally. So for the show, it was kind of a last minute deal. We ended up getting some Rage swimmers on there, which should have a pretty awesome kicking action. It's what I use anyway in the 1/4 ounce because we don't make a booty kicker in a small size. After a good night's sleep at the Middleton Baymont Inn, we hit the road. The game plan was take our drone out, get some footage, get some pictures of the skyscrapers. We wanted to hit up Chicago, Louisville, Indianapolis, and we ended up in an ice storm. It looked like the ice storm must have hit right before we hit the road, so it wasn't like we were driving in freezing rain. There was a sheet of ice everywhere down in the Janesville area, Beloit. We did take back roads, 2-lane 55-mile-an-hour stuff, running 4-wheel drive slower. Didn't have any issues slipping, but it was pretty ugly. And stopped at the Woodman's, gassed up in South Beloit, picked up some drinks for the road, and it was pretty ugly rain at that point. We had very little visibility. It was horribly foggy from the rain. We knew we weren't going to get any drone footage. You couldn't see any buildings at all. So I guess our attitude was we were going to hit up the skyscrapers on the way back. So after we left Wisconsin, as soon as we crossed the border, pretty much we gained a couple degrees and the roads weren't bad at all, just wet. So we were able to move pretty good. Traffic wasn't bad at all. Our timing was good hitting Chicago. I think it was probably 8:30, 9 o'clock. Wasn't bad at all. Kind of did the bypass around inside of Chicago there, so it wasn't bad at all. Got through Indiana, got into Indiana, stopped down past Merrillville, I believe, and hit up a Steak and Shake there. First time ever. Alex absolutely loved it. He says it's his favorite burger he's ever had. Kind of reminded me of Culver's, a little less greasy, a little less thickness, but very good flavor. Of course I had to eat mine without the bun, but it was still delicious. Alex loved the cheese fries, and his shake was the cotton candy, which was outstanding. The shop was almost like an old school ice cream shop. There's a lot of them in Indiana, Kentucky, and Tennessee. Really neat place. Highly recommend checking it out.
It's Alex Piontek for Steak and Shake. The trip's going well so far down to Tennessee. Looking forward to going down to Knoxville, selling some lures.
What did you think of Steak and Shake? First time you ever had it, what did you think?
Probably my favorite fast food place I've ever been to. We need better fast food places in Wisconsin.
Really?
Yeah.
What did you think of the shake? What flavor did you have?
Cotton candy, it was delicious.
Yeah? And then you actually had a burger, which you never eat burgers, and what did you think of that?
It was good. It was crispy.
Yeah.
Most burgers suck. Hey, there's no.
So we're about a third of the way to Kentucky, and we're not going to do any droning or photos on the way down because it's raining and sleeting and everything all the way, and we're running behind, and we'll kind of hit some of those skyscrapers on the way back, right?
Yep.
Alrighty. Well, get in the car. We got to move.
After Steak and Shake in Indiana, we passed through Louisville. There was no visibility at all there, so we did not take the cool bridge that goes right by the skyscrapers in the KFC Center. I really wanted to get to that park there and do some drone footage and get the Ohio River with the skyscrapers. So we took the faster route, which would have been the Lewis-Clark Bridge that led to a mountain tunnel. And that bridge was so scenic. I wish I would have got some footage of that one. Alex got a great shot of it on his phone and used it for photography class for part of his homework. And it was a really neat bridge with the supports on it on the side, a real bright white, and then going through the mountain tunnel at the end. So we had about an 8-hour drive then from Madison to Richmond, Kentucky. Drive actually went pretty well. Traffic wasn't bad. We were alert. My Lyme issues were doing great. I was kind of feeling the best I felt in about 3.5 years. I guess it was meant to be. Alex got plenty of naps in on the way, but woke up in time to see skyscrapers and have a lot of chatting and cranking the Morgan Wallen music on the way down there. Got down to Richmond, and before we checked into our hotel, which was a Hampton Inn, which is really nice, we stopped at our first ever Buc-ee's just south of town by about 3 miles.
It's Alex. We made it to Kentucky now, where we stopped at Buc-ee's because a cool person named April Sarbeck told us to. So yeah, it was worth it. You got jerky that's about that long. Pretty good place. It's amazing to be in 50-degree weather instead of 24 below wind chill.
So my question is, does Buc-ee's have any gas pumps?
Yeah, it's got a few.
A few thousand? This is insane. I can't believe a gas station it can be that big, and the size of the inside of the store is nuts. Yep, 56 degrees is feeling pretty good, and we finally got out of the rain for once.
Yeah.
Ready to go eat some jerky?
Oh yeah.
Let's do it.
So we passed through Corbin, Kentucky, went by KFC's original cafe, where Colonel Sanders invented his fried chicken recipe, and then went through the mountains in Virginia, in the corner of the state. We went through Jonesville, Virginia, then we took Highway 70 south towards Kyle's Ford, Tennessee, across the border. It was a pretty fun, neat little drive there, real windy through the mountains, and hit the Tennessee border, town just down the road called Kyle's Ford, Tennessee. If you look on Google Map, there's an old post office that's no longer there, Kyle's Ford Post Office. Basically, you park your car there. That is where Morgan Wallen shot the signed photo for his album, for More Than My Hometown. Pretty easy to find it. It's got the Rogersville and the Sneedville sign there. Pretty cool deal.
You might recognize this shot. This is Morgan Wallen's More Than My Hometown album cover. So we made it to Tennessee, and a few people down here can't be friendlier. It's about 65 degrees. So that's nice. It's not cold anymore.
What'd you think of the mountains around here? Pretty impressive, huh?
Yeah, pretty nice mountains.
And then, are the people in Wisconsin friendlier?
Absolutely not. No, Tennessee people are much friendlier.
Now you know why I like hanging out down here.
Yeah.
Well, let's go into Sneedville and take a shot over there, maybe get some drone footage, and get to Knoxville.
We also went into town then, got onto the, I think it's called the Clinch River, runs through Sneedville. Sent the drone up there with the Sneedville sign and just kind of did a rotation with it. You can see the mountains. It's just kind of a, they're smaller mountains there in Appalachians, but they got some neat, they got a lot of trees on them. They look really cool. Got the rivers going through there. Very, very scenic terrain there. A lot of neat houses in that area. And we made the drive from Sneedville, heading over to Knoxville. Our plan then was to hit up the World Fair Park and hit up the Sun Sphere and all that. We're going to do some droning and photos there. On the way, we kind of accidentally went by Gibbs High School, which is where Morgan Wallen played baseball and was going to try to go pro. Also, Kenny Chesney went to that high school. It was right on the main drive on the way to Knoxville there from where we were coming from. So that was kind of neat. I got to World Fair Park. A lot of snow there, was melting. It was 66 degrees after we left cold Wisconsin, and all the slush. They had 10 inches of snow, which is very rare for there. They only usually get about 2 days of snow every January, very small amounts. So a 10-inch snowstorm on January 14th, that shut down school for 6 days down there. The roads were very slippery because you got the angle of the mountainy stuff going on, so they really salted it hard. And a lot of businesses were shut down, highways were shut down, I guess, for days. Anyway, we get to the Sun Sphere. It's pretty wet and soggy over there in the park. Able to get a pretty good drone footage going up and down the Sun Sphere at World's Fair Park. Got some nice pictures. Got the graffiti wall underneath the bridge there, which is some local artwork they do. The fountains, everything was shut off. Everything was frozen. It was kind of weird to be down in Tennessee and seeing frozen ponds and kind of look back home like we're ice fishing. Pretty crazy. So after we got ourselves a really nice shot of the drone footage of the Sun Sphere, we just jumped on the bridge and headed across the river to the other side, sent it up to the max legal limit, 400 feet, and ran it over the Tennessee River there, and we were able to angle it in and get a really nice shot of Neyland Stadium, where the University of Tennessee Volunteers play football. When we angled down the gimbal, we thought we'd see some hash lines and yard lines and green grass. Instead, we were surprised to see an entire field covered in snow. The bleachers looked like they were full of snow. After that, we then panned it over to the east and then shot the skyline of Knoxville, which is pretty cool looking. I really like the bridges there. I flew there in 2019 for the Bassmaster Classic. That was the one, the full one, And then just last year they were there in 2023. That's the one that Jeff Gustafson, Gussie from Canada, won. So I've had some pretty good memories down there. I really like the area. It was neat to send the drone up and see that footage like that. After we got done with that, we decided to head over to Sevierville in the Smoky Mountains, where Dolly Parton's from. Sevierville, Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg area. Noticed there was another big Buc-ee's, a huge one at the corner there where you turn on to Sevierville, just outside of Knoxville. So if you're ever in that area, that's where it is. That's the one you want. It's huge. Ridiculous how many pumps are there. Went into Sevierville and found Dolly Parton's statue that was put up in '87 in front of the courthouse. Pretty neat. Really neat to see that in person. I guess she's done a lot for the community. The locals talked about her a lot at the trade show. Between her and Bill Dance, everybody seems to know Dolly Parton and Bill Dance down there. They love both of them. They're kind of legends. After we left Dolly Parton's statue, we stopped at Pigeon Forge, where we hit up Cooter's place. Alex is getting his learner's permit here on Monday, so I thought maybe he'd see what it's like to sit in a 1969 Dodge Charger General Lee RTSE with a 440 Magnum with the console shifter. So he got the pleasure of sitting in the seat and sitting in Cooter's actual car in Cooter's garage. They reenacted the inside of Cooter's garage from the Dukes of Hazzard set. They also reenacted the Hazzard County Jail, Roscoe's jail cell that we pretended to be arrested in. We sat at the boar's nest that they staged and then shot a front of it where Daisy's actual Jeep signed by Catherine Bach is sitting there. While Alex was sitting in the General, I decided to take some time and try to do some clothes shopping, see what fit me for this summer. After we left Pigeon Forge, we headed down the highway, just a 16-mile windy drive through some mountains in the Smoky Mountains from Pigeon Forge over to Townsend, Tennessee, kind of the entrance to the Smoky Mountains. That's where our lodge was. It was called the Strawberry Patch Inn. Highly recommend staying there. The prices were fantastic. It was off-peak season, cheaper than a hotel. It's like an 1800s hotel that's fixed up real neat, old wood. It was awesome. It has porches out there with rocking chairs. You can overlook the little river, it's called. It's a mountain stream full of trout, crystal clear. The water was really loud, so it was really relaxing. Almost sounded like a waterfall. It turned the corner right there.
All right, sir. We made it to our Airbnb.
Pretty cool. It's ambient.
Ambience, what he said. Probably can't hear him because he's got this soothing river going through behind the background noise there. Fun day today. We got to go hang out at Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. What did you think of that?
It was pretty cool.
You got to sit in the General Lee. It would have been nice if the Trump store was open. I don't know if we'll be able to find time to get in there. It'd be nice if we could at some point. It's only open on the weekends. Other than that, lots of mountains today. We got to see Morgan Wallen's hometown. Got to see Dolly Parton's statue. What else? Oh, the sun sphere looked awesome, didn't it? The skyline of Knoxville, did some droning. Turned out pretty good. And what are we doing tomorrow morning?
Trade show.
Setting up the trade show, and then the show starts in the afternoon, so we'll have a busy day. I think we might have made a decision. We're just going to go out for a quick breakfast in Townsend here and take the easy way out. We're burnt out. We need to relax.
So after we checked into our lodge over there, the Strawberry Patch Inn, settled in for the night, we got ourselves a really good dinner. There was a excellent place that served fish and steak down the road in Townsend, and I got myself some trout, and Alex got himself some tiger shrimp. That was really good. Next morning we headed through Wallen, Tennessee into town to do their setup. We set up early in the morning at the Knoxville Expo Center on Clinton Highway. We had to set up at 10 a.m. It was a pretty quick deal. The employees were great. The the event coordinator, Sheila Bunch, was absolutely amazing. Sheila, her daughter Riley, and then Mike Del Visco, professional angler, put it all together. Really, really good people. They really help you out with everything, answer questions, check on you a million times. Absolutely amazing. Mike runs the outdoor showcase. He did a TV spot interview with us before the show. Was really interested in what we were bringing, what we were handcrafting. Then he did a good follow-up after the show. And they're just really, really good people. Sheila had one of her employees grab a cart and kind of do most of the work for us, making sure that we're taken care of and got all of our booth needs hauled in and in one shot. And it was really, really nice to have such a great coordinator running that show.
Alright, we're at the East Tennessee Fishing Expo and we just finished to start our display. Everything looks really nice. We got our peacock bass hanging up and we got our display. And we're very excited to start selling lures.
What time does the show start?
At 2 o'clock the show starts.
4-day event, long days.
Yeah, long days, but we're very excited to be here and to be doing this. Very privileged to be here.
So we started the trip in snowbanks in Madison and ended up in 66-degree mountains in southern Tennessee. Saw a lot of stuff on the way, huh?
Yeah, we saw a lot. So.
Can you tell all your fans out there how you feel about southern hospitality at the restaurants in Kentucky and Tennessee?
It's still nice to have Midwest hospitality. Midwest hospitality is terrible. Don't believe the lies.
Basically, the people from Wisconsin need to get down here and learn how to act.
Yes. Yes.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing what the customers are going to be like. It's probably going to be a lot of fun, a lot of bass people. So hopefully we do well. We're going to have fun either way, right?
Yep.
After our setup was complete, we had probably about a 2 to 3 hour gap there before the people were in the doors. Obviously we want to be in a little bit early to beat them in before and be prepared. Testing out our credit card reader, all that stuff. So we stopped at Popeye's Chicken because Alex loves his Popeye's Chicken. We don't have one locally. Usually got to drive to the edge of Minnesota to find one, and they got some amazing chicken. So there was one right by the Expo Center. It's kind of conveniently located next to everything. They had a Cracker Barrel and everything nearby. So we got his Popeyes for lunch. We did our Thursday show. It was kind of a nice refresher. We had to kind of reteach ourselves how to run an expo booth. It's been 5 years. That last time Alex ran his booth, he was 10 years old. Now he's 15, and he really picked up on it fast. Did an outstanding job. I'd say pretty much he took care of all the customers, all the sales, other than the really busy spurts where he had several customers at once, where we were kind of tripping over each other trying to handle sales and get to the change box for the customers. But for the most part, he took charge of all this. So it was a really nice experience for him to do most of the work himself this time. He also handcrafted lures himself this time, my assistants, which 7 years old, he designed a lot of these, 7 to 9 years old, and obviously I wasn't going to let him cut wires at that age, 500-pound musky wire, and burn himself and cut himself. Pretty sharp edges, a lot of hooks. But he did a great job. He bent all the wires and the jigs himself. He was assembling the hooks and everything, so he did a really good job building these lures. Well, day 2 in our Smoky Mountain Lodge. We're sitting in I believe, a 1800s hotel that's done up really cool. Sitting on a mountain river, got a trout river going right by the porch here. And I'm letting Mr. Sleepyhead sleep in a little bit extra today. Day 1 went pretty good, being that it was a Thursday. We've never done a Thursday at a show before, and I think overall we probably beat any of our Friday sales. Seemed like a decent amount of people there. Definitely trying to learn how to sell to the south. It's different being that we're from the north. We are hearing the comment a lot about how bass up in the north will bite anything, so any lure works. Doesn't mean it'll work down south. But we have had sales online in the past to people down in Louisiana and Florida and Texas that have hammered them on their lower tail twos, so we'll have to keep that in mind in our sales pitches. Anyway, really good people down here in Tennessee, having a lot of fun. I'll show you around the Airbnb a little bit here. It's pretty awesome. There's the entry door. Patio out there goes to the river.
It's really amazing out there on the porch, listening to the river run. So here's our couch. Unfortunately, we don't really get to spend any time here. We're at the show pretty much all day. We don't get back here till almost 10 o'clock last night. The CEO said that, he said, well, you bought the hotel, so you get to pick the bed. I'm like, I didn't pay for this. James Gang Fishing paid for this. Oh, if that's the case, I get the room I want. But I don't mind. It's pretty nice out here. He got himself his own little bedroom in there connected to the bathroom. Place is really nice. The owner, Wendy, was really cool to deal with on the phone. This is called Strawberry Patch in Townsend, Tennessee. You can do it on Airbnb. I'm sure it's a lot cheaper just to get a hold of her through a website or online. Really cool place. What shocks me is this place is cheaper than any hotel you're going to find. I would much rather stay here than in a hotel. I think for this trip we're averaging about $90 a night only. You can cook and do anything you need. It's got a clawfoot antique bathtub with a shower attached to it too, which is kind of neat. It's pretty early in the morning here, quiet hours, so I'm not really going to talk outside here, but I'll show you the river view. Love sitting out here, taking my Lyme disease medicine. There's a community fire pit. Pretty cool. Pretty happy with this place. It's just too bad we don't get to actually spend time here relaxing. So yesterday we found a place called, I think, the Snoring Bear Cafe, just north of town here on the main highway going towards Walland in the Smoky Mountains. Really cool, right next to Perry Mills Park, which I'm hoping to get some drone footage of today, the waterfall there. It's been kind of raining and foggy and I don't want to wreck the drone and you ain't gonna see nothing anyway if it's like that. It looks like we might have a break in rain today after all. But yeah, we had really good food there. Waitress was awesome. Day 2 show is going to start now and we're going to hit the road. I was down there in Tennessee for treatment 2 years ago for my Lyme disease and I couldn't stop going to that place. I love their lemon pepper trout, which is of course what I ordered, with green beans, grits, and cornbread muffin. Alex ordered grits, catfish, which is something new for him. He loved the catfish, thought it was amazing. He could not stand the grits. He thought they were disgusting, which is pretty funny. And I got to have a little bit of catfish for leftovers the next day. Just on the edge of the Smoky Mountains near the Perry's Mill waterfall. That is the river, the little river that ran by our lodge that we were staying at, ran to the Perry Mill Park waterfall. So we stopped at the Snoring Bear Cafe. Our waitress was Jennifer. The food was affordable, it was excellent, the people were great, the other customers were funny. Filled them up with pancakes, I had my eggs, had an egg bowl. Very, very good food. And then we decided to film the waterfall.
The waterfall looked really neat. From the Knoxville view, looking south, looking upriver, you could see the Smoky Mountains in the background behind where we were staying. I can't fly a drone legally in the national parks. That's been outlawed a long time, so this was the closest we could to our lodge that we could legally fly. So we were able to shoot it up about 400 feet and get some really neat shots of the waterfall up close. It was a really neat scenic waterfall. Water was really clear. Murkier than what I've seen on the YouTube videos just because of all the runoff from the 10 inches of snow. But it's a clear trout stream that comes out of the mountains.
Day 2 of the show. Met a lot of good people yesterday. Should be a bigger crowd today. The parking lot's full. Got some neat drone footage of the waterfall today and the parking lot. And we're excited, ready to go.
When we got to the Expo Center Friday morning, we got there probably a half hour before the show started because everything was set up for the most part, and couldn't believe how many people were there right away. There was kind of a line almost wrapping around the building already before the show even started, and the show opened at 10 o'clock on Friday. It was crazy. So I ended up sending the drone up from the parking lot there where we were parked, and kind of neat to see all the people coming in. And when you back it up 400 feet and send it up and send it back a little bit, you can really see how many cars were there. And this was before the show started. It got way busier. fun thing about doing these shows is you kind of learn every time. You don't really know what you're getting into. We kind of had a feeling to go aggressive more with the bigger weedless largemouth lures for those guys that basically got money and want to make the drive to 3 hours out to Chickamauga, go to Gunnersville, go to kind of the premium lakes. I guess I wasn't thinking that a lot of people there are going to fish Knoxville right on the river. And that's not the grassy, aggressive 10-pound largemouth kind of place those other places are. So what we found out is that the locals said the fishing's tough, they like finesse, and it's our #1 fish catcher. We've caught more fish on that baby squid bait lure than any other lure we make. I like to run the 1/4 ounce up here most times, 3/8 ounce if you're fishing deeper, fishing the Great Lakes. But it's a outstanding finesse. It's a finesse tube spin. Very simple. You just run it slow, kind of tick the bottom, maybe make a little bottom contact here and there. You're just trying to simulate a bait fish going through the water. Well, that lure was the #1 seller of the show. And Friday, we really sold a lot of green pumpkins, and then by Saturday we sold out. We only left there with 2 black and blues left, I think, at the end of the show. Just 1 2-pack, I think is what it was. Absolutely outstanding. That green pumpkin is a very good imitator of baby bluegill. It's a very subtle color. It could look like a goby on the Great Lakes too. But that was the deal. That was the big money maker for the show. So the baby squid bait was our #1 seller. But one thing that surprised me was our fishing journal logbook. Just a blank book full of basically blank spaces to rate your conditions. You got your date, body of water, how many hours, start time, end time, partners, GPS coordinates, and your weather conditions, your barometer, current speed, a bunch of other stuff, forage present, moon phase, tidal conditions, total fish caught, memorable fish, presentation, cover present, best time of the days, a little spot to draw maps. So this fishing journal I designed, it's for sale on Amazon. This is the hardcover version of it. Soft cover sold out at the show. We just had it there for $5, but kind of got a lot of attention to our surprise. Go check that out along with my other books. I have had 300,000 people read my blogs that we wrote on our James Gang fishing reports, and that's what led to me starting to write for outdoor magazines and for publishing books on Amazon. So I do have an intro to fishing book out there. I also have just a how-to manual that we don't really sell that. We give it out advertising to help the customers at trade shows understand how to use our lures. And then we got the fishing journal, and then I also wrote a book about my experience with the European Lyme disease. So if you ever want to check that out, look up Jesse James Piontek on Amazon and you'll see our books. So Friday night when we were done, it was a pretty good night for us. We were pretty happy. So we kind of went out and celebrated. We hit up Steak and Shake again. This one was in Knoxville. It was a long day, so we just kind of headed back to the lodge, and I was out cold in about 10 minutes. Saturday was probably our all-time record sales day for lures. Haven't actually looked at the numbers yet, but I'm pretty sure that was the most lures we've ever sold in a day. Place was absolutely packed. Tapered off in the afternoon, but she opened the doors an hour early. It ended up being a 10-hour day. It was open from 9 in the morning to 7 at night. Absolute insanity. Me and him were tripping over each other at one point. It was great. The customers were awesome. We really interacted with a lot of people. Had a really fun time. We did start selling some of the bigger lures on the weekend. More of the lover tails, bee whackers, Duncan frogs. Those sold pretty good on the weekend. Did sell a decent amount of Dust Invader jigs, which is an outstanding lure, the weedless swing jig. And then got to meet some pretty big people. Bernie Schultz from Bassmaster Elites. Shaw Grigsby, one of my favorite anglers of all time, host of One More Cast, Major League Fishing star. He Bassmasters since like the late 80s. And then we got a surprise visit from Luke Duncan, host of Low Budget Live, former FLW angler. He's the host of National Professional Fishing League, and super awesome guy. Just amazing. To watch him and Fat Cat Newton hosting on that NPA, National Professional Fishing League. They got some huge names in there, Patrick Walters and some other guys. So yeah, when Shaw Grigsby stopped by, what caught his attention was the peacock bass. He's a Florida guy, so he knows all about them, and he's telling Alex stories about his peacock bass fishing. He thought it was pretty cool. And then we were surprised to see our new hook vendor was there, Tanner from TMO Tackle. Tanner was a super cool guy. He's out of Indianapolis. He's got a website, tmotackle.com. Check him out if you're looking for flipping hooks. So we're using his flipping hooks now on our bee-whacker buzz baits. Really high quality, nice packaging. I really was impressed with his stuff. He also selling jigs, tube jigs, shaky heads. He's got soft plastics, he's got apparel. So check out tmotackle.com. He's on Instagram, Facebook as well. You can order anything online right from his website there. 2022 Lacrosse Bassmaster Elites. Got to meet Matty Wong on the water. Super awesome guy. Got a really neat picture with him on the water. He was one of the main speakers at this show, so it was neat to run into him, and I developed those pictures and gave him one, and he signed one for us to keep. Really fun talking to him for a little bit. Great guy. He was a former Bassmaster Nation champion, just like our local Pat Schlopper was from Shields. So they kind of had the same start, know each other pretty well. Nice talking with him. And then the guys from Oshegon brand, which I've been following for years on Instagram, smallmouth clothing apparel company. They're based out of Indy. Also, Smalley Talk podcast is part of that. They stopped by their booth, and sounds like they're opening up a tackle shop in Indy. Hopefully we can make a deal where our smallmouth baits will be available there. Talking to Tanner and talking to those guys, we decided we're going to do the Indianapolis show next year, early February. It's a 2-day event, pretty good turnout. And then because Sheila Bunch, Riley, and Mike were so great, we definitely want to take our show to, or take our booth to Gadsden, Alabama, 2025 in March. That is located on Neely Henry Lake by Logan Martin, by Gunnersville, by Wheeler, Alatoona over by Atlanta. Chattanooga's not too far away. We're thinking the grass baits, the lover tails, the bee whackers, Dunkin' frogs are going to sell really well there for large bass and those kind of cover conditions. Another guy that stopped by our booth Saturday is Wally Marshall, Mr. Crappie. Super awesome guy. I believe he's from Texas. Really nice, down to earth. Spent a lot of time talking to Alex. Took some nice pictures with us. Really good guy. Check him out online as well. We celebrated Saturday night with an amazing show. We went out to Cracker Barrel again. I got catfish this time because I tried some of Alex's and it was so good. I thought I'd try something different. And then he went with their fried chicken there and absolutely loved it. So Saturday was an absolute home run. We loved everything about that show. Sunday started out busy at first and it tapered off. We had the AFC Championship game and NFL come on in the afternoon. So we did some pretty good sales there for about an hour and a half, and then she died off pretty good. That's when we had the opportunity to walk around, check out other vendors and talk to some other owners and do some connecting. Battle baits. Check out Battle Baits. Their clothing's awesome, but their lures are amazing. Very unique jig heads he's putting on the spinner baits, and he's also got swim bait heads as well. Guy's super cool. Check out battlebaits.com. Day 4, started day 4, James Gang booth number 8 at the East Tennessee Fishing Expo. The hot lure of the show has been the James Gang Baby Squid Bait. We're completely sold out of green pumpkin. We're down to a few 3/8 finesse jigs left, and just a couple of the 1/4 ounce left. Apparently in Knoxville, fishing's pretty tough, and guys are looking for the finesse route. We did have a pretty good day with Lovertail 2s yesterday and bee whackers. We're starting off with Dunkin' frog selling today. Lovertails were struggling Thursday, Friday, but picked up pretty good yesterday. We had a really good day yesterday. Last night we had supper at Cracker Barrel. What'd you have there? Chicken. Fried chicken, and it was good. I had me some catfish and some grits. And what'd you have with your chicken?
Steak fries.
Steak fries, and they were delicious. So last day of the show, it's open here until 5, 8. And we'll be heading back up to Kentucky to go visit Lucky's gas station for supper. And then tomorrow morning we'll be heading to Indianapolis, Louisville, Chicago, and back home. We should be home tomorrow night. Overall, fantastic show, huh? The event coordinator's the best one we've ever dealt with, and we absolutely are interested in going to the Alabama show that they run next year and showing the guys at Lake Gunnersville in that area the Lovertails, Dunkin' frogs, and bee whackers. So what did you think of the show?
That was pretty good. I'm not really in the mood for talking. I'm really tired.
Somebody's a little tired, you stay up
going to sell our wire baits $10 a piece today to try to do a Sunday special. So come check us out.
After the show was done, we headed back up to Kentucky. It stayed in the same place, at Hampton Inn in Richmond again, but of course we had to hit up Buc-ee's for supper because it was so amazing the first time, and that took care of us the second time. Too exhausted to hit the swimming pool or anything. We knew we were going to get up early. We had a 10-hour drive home the next day. So the next morning we got to downtown Indianapolis, parked at the blue lot next to Buffalo Wild Wings by Monument Circle. Very safe neighborhood, very nice. Got a 700-foot tower, sales tower. It's the tallest building in Indiana. It's their biggest skyscraper. Monument itself was really, really neat. The state capitol building was down the road. It was cool to see that. It got really cold with that weather front, so we stopped in at the Chocolate Cafe to get ourselves some hot chocolate. Highly, highly recommend. You're in Indianapolis, go there. The guy was super awesome that ran the place, and the hot chocolate and the cappuccinos were outstanding.
Alright, so we're on our way back home from Tennessee. We stayed in Kentucky last night, stopped at the Buc-ee's and got ourselves some dinner. And we went to downtown Indianapolis. Unfortunately, I can't find my cable to my drone. I wanted to drone footage all this. Monument Circle, downtown Indianapolis. So this is the tallest building in Indiana. So we're going to come back here to Indianapolis next year to do a show. And we got really cold, so we stopped at the South Bend Chocolate Company to warm up with a hot chocolate. Really neat cathedral there. And down the street here is the Capitol.
And then to finish up the trip, well, after that we hit up the final Steak and Shake, of course. We hit that up, I think, in Maryville, Indiana, south of Gary. And then we headed through Chicago, and before ripping through Chicago, we decided to go into the skyscraper area, Wacker Drive. So over by Soldier Field by 41 on Wacker Drive, Wabash Avenue Bridge, goes over the Chicago River. We took some pictures of all the skyscrapers there. It was unbelievable. They were so big and so many of them. We didn't get a shot of Sears Tower. We were pretty close to it, but everything's kind of blocked with our view because we were kind of getting too close to it. Couldn't quite see it. We saw it on the way in. Super cool. The neighborhood there was really safe, and we really liked going through that. It was a neat experience. The guys at Oshegon brand, of course, well, TMO, we already have their hooks, and we will continue to purchase hooks. But Oshegon had a quest for 23. Who doesn't want to catch a 23-inch smallmouth? Their clothes are absolutely amazing. They got neat Smalley shirts. They got some prints of the world record from Dale Hollow. They got really cool hats. They Smalley's on them. Smalley Talk Podcast, follow them, Facebook, Instagram. Really awesome guys. Really had a good time chatting with them. So that's about it. It was an absolutely awesome trip. It was the most fun trade show we've ever done. It was our first one out of state. Now we are looking forward to do a couple more out of state next year. Check us out at jamesgettingfish.com. If you're interested in fishing our kid-friendly MLF event, it's going to be 3-person teams, $25 a person. We're going to keep it smaller this year and local. Tanner Lake in May, and Lake Altoona in October. This is my goal. I'm trying to keep it small and keep it fun, keep it more, let the kids kind of rack up the poundage close to each other and make it fun, kind of go down to the wire. That's been our most fun events, is when it really comes down to the wire, and smaller events is probably going to create that. So thanks for watching, thanks for following. Please like, subscribe, follow us, and stay tuned, because we're going to have more content this year, I guarantee it, between our drone and our underwater camera. Thanks for watching.